In today's video, I'm going to go over my most recommended high-end foundations for 2022. Now, some of these are new releases for 2022, but they're not all new releases. But these are the ones when people ask me what foundation should they get, these are the ones that I recommended most often this year. Now, I did have another video on my most recommended drugstore foundations because that is the first question I ask anyone that asks me for foundation reviews. I'm like, are you looking for drugstore or the luxury Sephora and department store brands? And then I can base it off that. If they say either, I usually give them a choice. I'll give them one or two drugstore brands and then one or two from this collection. We're going to start with the different levels of coverage, and we'll start with the most lightweight coverage. My number one high-end foundation, you heard me talk about it time and time again. This is the one that I bought my sister. It's the one my daughter wears. It's the one I wore once I graduated from the drugstore brands and moved into a department store brand. This is the one that I wore before I started my YouTube channel. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. And my shade, I always had 7 medium. I'm debating purchasing it at 8 medium too to just see where I am now. My daughter, who has a little bit of redness here, but she's much fairer than I, she wears number 4 fair. And that's why I love it. It's great to cover up just that little bit of redness if you have like rosacea or anything like that, but it's still super skin-like. Now, my daughter does not like to experiment with foundations, so I've literally been buying her this for years. I mean, once she finds a foundation that she likes, that's what she wants. That's what I get her every year for Christmas. And it is just really a beautiful, light, natural coverage. It is the number one out of all my foundations, both drugstore and high-end. It is the number one recommended foundation. Having said that, another one that I love, which I feel like is light, maybe even light to medium coverage, is the Lancome Tint Idol 5-in-1 Foundation Stick. This is a terrible shade for me now. This is in the 360. This was my old winter shade. I feel like it's a little, almost cyan, maybe a little too pinky for me now. But it is so featherweight, light and soft and smooth, and it dries down to a powder finish. So it does not feel like foundation at all. It comes with a little brush. I don't really use a brush except maybe to get it in right around the nose. But it is so beautiful and so fast. I mean, I just go, and then I blend it in with my fingers usually, and you are ready to go. It is also one of my favorite touch-up foundations. Your makeup may have worn off and you want to just run in, touch it up really quick, and then run out again, and you don't want to wash your whole face. This is a great one to just blend over this center mask of your face to get it fresh again, and then you can go out the door and look wonderful. And it just feels so light. It doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation. It just feels like you powdered your nose. A little heavier foundation in that it feels a little bit more like foundation or sunscreen on my face is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. I recommend this one a lot too. It has a beautiful finish. It does oxidize just a little bit on me, which is one of the reasons why it's not on my ride or die foundations. It just turns just a little bit darker on me throughout the day, but it is beautiful, long wearing, and then it has an SPF of 45. So I put this on, let's say if I'm going to a backyard barbecue over at a friend, so I know I'm going to be spending some time in the sun, but then I'm going to be going in the house. So I want to have some makeup on, but I'm going to be going in and out and spending more time in the sun. So I definitely will use one of these foundations with the sunscreen, and the Estee Lauder is usually the one I reach for the most often, so it is the one I recommend most often. I get a lot of compliments on my skin when I'm wearing this foundation, so I do recommend it a lot. It is the Wayne Goss Luxury Cream Foundation. It is very sheer. My youngest daughter, so my oldest daughter wears this. My youngest daughter wears this. It is a very lightweight, silky texture. It almost just feels like it's not even there. It does have just enough pigment to smooth out any discoloration, any redness, or any age spots or hyperpigmentation spots. It is very beautiful. It is a cream foundation, so you do need to set it, powder, setting spray, or both, to get the longest lasting wear out of it. But usually when I'm wearing the cream foundation, I'm just going out to lunch or something like that, and people will say, oh, your skin looks so healthy. What are you wearing? And then I will tell them the Wayne Goss. The shades are a little bit different. The lower the number, the darker the foundation. So I have 5, 6, and 7. So I usually wear the 6. This one is the 5. Actually, I think the 5 might be good on me now. The 7 was more as a little highlighter if I'm trying to do that look. It really was more that I bought the 7 and decided it was too light, so then I started purchasing the other shades. But it is very beautiful, lightweight, and of course I love Wayne Goss, and I always love to support creators that, you know, are self-funding their makeup and everything like that. So yes, it is an influencer brand that I bought because I love the influencer. So I buy a lot of Wayne Goss because I just love him. And the products are high quality, especially his blushes. If you haven't tried one of his blushes, they are amazing. Okay, but we're gonna move into the next category, which is the medium coverage liquid foundations. This is a category I recommend the most from because it's the one that usually when people are coming to me, you know, they're looking for that next step, not just that tinted moisturizer, but that next step. They're really feeling that they're needing a little bit more coverage that lasts a little bit longer. So that's where these foundations come in. My favorite is the Dior Forever Skin Glow. I also have their matte one, which I love too. In fact, this one is a 3.5N and the matte one is 3W. These are long wearing medium coverage foundations. These are the ones that I have been wearing pretty much day to day. Occasionally I'll be, you know, grabbing something else to mix and match, but these are the ones that I've been really wearing nonstop. If you have combination oily skin, I would definitely go matte. If you have drier skin, I would definitely go glow. If you have normal skin like me, I think you can wear either because the matte one isn't too matte. Yeah, love that. And I love their concealer too. The other two that I recommend a lot from Sephora, I get people text me from Sephora and say, what foundation should I get? And I will suggest one of these two. I really feel like, you know, either or with these two. And one is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and my shade is Valencia M5. Or the Laura Mercier Flawless Luminère Radiance-Perfecting Foundation, and my shade is 3N1 Buff. I don't have a preference. Yeah, I just reach for them. They both have a little more radiant finish. Very beautiful. It's not greasy looking. Also better if you have the drier skin. I love both of them. I feel like they're both in that $40 range as far as purchase price foundation. I love the Chanel #1 foundation. I love, love, love this. I love the finish. I love the way it feels on my skin. It is a $60 foundation and it's only at Ulta. So it's an exclusive to Ulta, which is why I don't recommend it as much because usually when people are asking me, they're at Sephora. So, but I go back and forth to, you know, for me, I shop both of them here in Florida. The Ulta is really huge and the Sephora is really tiny. I'd have to go to, drive about 45 minutes to get to a larger Sephora. Back home, the closest Sephora is large and the closest Ulta is small. So I just kind of go back and forth based on what I have in my town. So if you don't have Sephora to buy some of these other brands, this one is beautiful. I really do love it. Did I say my shade? It was B60. Yeah, this is a really nice shade on me. So those are my medium coverage foundations. Again, beautiful, very skin-like. I don't feel that it's super heavy. What do I have on? Oh, today I'm testing out another one. So I've got the Haas foundation, the Lady Gaga foundation. I can't remember. It might be something Haas, but It hasn't been my most recommended foundation because I'm still experimenting with it. I do feel like the shade is a little light for me. It's not quite the right shade for me. I'm trying to see if it will fall in the mix on, you know, like these mid-weight foundations. The jury's still out. These other ones have been tried and true foundations for me. Okay, so now we're moving on to the fuller coverage foundations. There are really only two that I recommend time and time again. They are the Lancome Tint Idol foundation. This one is the regular Ultra Wear foundation. They did have an Ultra Wear Glow foundation come out this year. It's fine. I still reach for this one, probably because this is a little bit better shade. This is the 420 Bisque Neutral, and this is a good shade for me. So yeah, this is a very long wearing foundation. Very, very beautiful. But my number one full coverage, long wearing foundation that I tell anyone that needs a foundation to wear all day, I'm like, have you tried Estee Lauder Double Wear? A lot of people will say, yeah, I tried it and did not, they found it too heavy years ago. I don't know. I think they might have reformulated a little bit. I don't know that for sure. But I do know I also used to think of it as thicker and heavier, and it didn't blend out as well. I find, so I got two shades. I got the 4N2 and the 3N2. So which one is newer? The 4N2 is my newer one. This is the Estee Lauder pump, which doesn't work already. Yeah, I would not buy the, I think I bought it this year, and the pump doesn't pump down. This is a Amazon pump, and yeah, this is it. Pump's still going. But anyways, I think they reformulated it because it goes on a lot sheerer than I remember, or maybe my skin with my skincare and everything like that. So it's way more hydrated. But I used to have to mix a serum in with this, or like make sure I absolutely had to have like a layer of freshly applied moisturizer on my skin for it to adhere to and absorb in. And I don't feel like I need to do it with the newer foundations. I feel like it blends in beautifully just like all my other foundations. So definitely the most coverage, the most buildable coverage, and it is my 12-hour wear foundation. I absolutely love it. And that's it. You have a favorite foundation, a high-end foundation that I didn't mention, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.